Okay, Julia, since this object is pretty much supposed to match the curvature of the other one, I would just try to make their topology the same. So you can see here, this edge loop, this edge loop, this edge loop, they're not actually really lining up with each other. So they might look fine when they smooth out, but it's going to be a lot easier if I could just connect them with that topology, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert an edge loop here, kind of get this shape. I could go ahead and just orient my pivot point. If you're curious about this, watch my video that I uploaded on editing the pivot points. So I'm just going to edit the pivot point. I'm going to orient it to this guy, so I can kind of straighten this in the same line as that one. Okay, pull it out, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line these guys up over here with these ones, and the same thing. I'm going to try to line it up if I can. It's tough because if I move it too much, then I'm going to actually change the thickness of this, which I probably don't want to do. I'm going to do the same thing on this one over here. Line it up. Pull this back a little bit. Right. Just try to get this to be evenly spaced. Right. And then what I might do is I might go ahead and grab these faces. And that actually is not bad. I might try to just, I'm trying to get this to be an even thickness all the way across. This one over here is not quite as good. What I could do is I could just, I'm going to just delete this edge right here. There we go, that's a little bit better. Same thing with this one over here. I'll worry about them later, but the fewer polygons you have to actually weld together with booleans and stuff like that, the better. I deleted that face. The reason why I don't think you could connect it was because this right here was just a closed face, and this was just kind of sitting on top of it, so they weren't actually really welded together. I don't know why. Something with a boolean. So now what I would do is I would start focusing on keeping this geometry simple enough that I can connect together, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the number of vertices that go around this one, or edges. This one's 16, my hole is 17, right? So if I can delete an edge somewhere, that'd be for the best. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 1, 2, 3. So is that right? 1, 2. No, okay, that's 1, 2, 3. Looking around, it says 3 on this side, 3 on that side. I think this one actually might have like a weird floating vertex. Let's just double check that. No, it actually looks fine. Let's go around. See, 16, 17. Where is this not lining up? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these guys over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those ones are lining up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So my guess is there must be a vertex or something around here. Aha, found it. I'm sure it's a smooth shaded mode, it was hard to see, but now I can see it. Okay, so it seems like these guys should bridge together fine, so I'm just going to start with a simple bridge. Oop, I don't know what just happened there. Okay, it's acting weird, so I'm going to go edit, delete all by type history. It's usually all you really need to do to kind of requires equal number of edges. Huh, okay. So let's try doing this to this. Maybe it's because it has a bottom to it. Does it have a bottom to it? Is there a face on the bottom? Yeah, there is. Okay, let's delete that. Okay, now let's try. There we go. And then I'm going to select the whole hole, unselect these two edges, and then just try bridging them. Oop. Okay, so I have, for some reason, 31 edge. Oh, I still got that guy selected. There we go. Okay. And so I could do something like that. What I might do is I might grab this, and then I might do a bevel, but with a chamfer off, right? Just to kind of slide it along the edges to help create the crease. I'm going to space these guys out better, right? Okay. And I just don't want these guys to really stretch and overlap too much, so I'm just trying to space them out a little bit better so that I'm not going to get any weird shading issues. The reason why I went to do that bevel there that goes around, and I turned off chamfer so it doesn't actually change the shape of it. It's just adding 2 new edge loops on either side of my main edge. This is going to make it easier for that edge loop to hold that shape. Okay. And that's looking pretty decent. It's not great that this is all like totally different sized and shaped faces and edges, right? Another thing I'd probably want to do is I'd want to somehow figure out a way to add another edge loop in here, just to kind of help crease this shape right there. The main thing I'm noticing right now, so right now the topology is like totally crazy. Like it's not bad by any means. Like it's functional, right? It's getting the shape, the form isn't deforming super weirdly, right? So it's not that bad. What I might do is I might actually grab these guys, see if they have, can't remember if there's a relax button now. I think it might be in 2020, there might be a relax tool. We can use target weld. I'm just going to hold shift. So if you use the target weld tool, or quad draw, and you hold shift, what it's going to do is it's going to like kind of even out your vertices. You gotta be careful because it's, you know, some of these vertices we definitely want to be in the shape they are, right? But it can kind of help in some areas if you have like really funky looking edge loops. Like I think the one, I don't really want this edge loop that goes around to really change like the distance like that right there, right? So I might not do it that way, but you know, might be something worth looking into. Polygons like this aren't great, these polygons right here. In all honesty, what I would probably try to do is I would try to, maybe I'd probably cut across this way. So what I might do is just delete this. Oops. It's easy to bridge things together. So what I might do is I might figure out a way to maybe do something like this. It's gonna cause a little funny issue right here, I think, because this one doesn't have an edge loop going that way either. But I would almost like mirror it that way, and then you can delete an edge loop on this side, right? But you'll probably notice there's a little hiccup. It might not be that noticeable, but there's like most likely going to be a little hiccup right here because this corner right here is going to try to smooth, and it's smoothing between this, this, and this, right? So these are actually closer together, whereas this one, you know, is farther apart, so it's going to be more of a smooth. And that's the whole game, is just trying to figure out topology and where things are going to line up. But I think we're going to get less weird stretching polygons if we do it this way. And I'd almost kind of consider doing it on that side too, because we're getting some really weird stretching polygons over there as well. So I'll just grab this, bridge. And then I could probably, I need to get rid of an edge loop here because I have 1, 2 faces and 3 faces. So I want to figure out how to merge these ones. So I might just go quad draw, just merge them here, and then I can let it split off up there. You know, you don't want to do this too much, what I'm doing right now, this weird kind of topology fix. Okay, I'm going to go chill out on the relaxing a little bit, right? Because this isn't great topology. You don't want to get in the bad habit of doing this, but this is just like kind of quick fixes. So this one, bridge. This one, bridge. But now I'm getting like a little better distribution across that right there. And you can see that right there. That edge loop I cut is kind of going a little, you know, it's getting a little weird pinching going on right there, so maybe I don't want to do that way. You can kind of see a little line there. So probably don't want to do it quite like that. You can see over here we're getting pretty annoying like topology stuff, so we'd probably want to reconfigure it here. This is such a complex kind of shape or edge. What I probably would do is, okay, this is after the fact, after we're done you know, creating all this stuff here, so I can't really control Z back, but I probably wouldn't add these bevels if I could until I welded them together, right? Because if these two pieces are simpler, it's easier to connect them together and figure out my topology, right? Because like what I had to do here for this part right here and down here and even this part right here is not great, right? It's just very kind of quick and messy. But if I didn't have these bevels on here, I probably could have worked with a smaller hole and I wouldn't have had to add all these edge loops in. So it probably would have been easier to bridge together, and then I can start adding my bevels and adding some holding edges to kind of crease it out, right? So talking about creasing, you'll notice when you start doing, let's go here. Say I want to add a holding edge here, right? Start to notice that makes that edge right there sharper, which is great, but it's going to start affecting, you can't really, I guess it's not that noticeable in this one, but it can start to affect the curvature on some of these other shapes, right? Because it's going down the rest of my mesh, and I don't really want it to go down the rest of my mesh, or I can't help it in this case. But it's going to affect my curvature because it's just not, let's go all the way around. Actually, let's go here to here. Right, it's going to affect the curvature when I smooth it out because this shape right here, this curvature, this profile right here, right, let's Control-Z this for a second. I want to show you what I mean. Let's say this vertice was kind of like this, right? So we're getting like this kind of curved shape, right? As soon as I add in an edge loop, you'll see, let's add an edge loop in here. You can see it's going to start to add a corner here, right? Because these edge loops are getting closer together, which is tightening this kind of curvature right here, right? So if I need that up there, right, I need that tighter, holding edge up there, but I don't want it down here. What I would probably do is I'd probably, grab these vertices, or these edges, right, down to like maybe here. And then what I'd do is I'd use, transform constraint edge slide, or I would use the edge slide tool, and then just kind of move it and space it out a little bit. Right? I personally like to use the edge slide tool. So I'm just going to drag that out. Right? And then what I might do is, to help rematch that curvature, I might just grab this and then pull it out a little bit. Right? And just try to evenly space these guys out a little bit more. Right? So that'll have less of like a curvature and shading impact on my mesh. I could also do something, this doesn't always work, but you can try it. Let's say this curve is in here, right? You can use edit mesh, edit edge flow. And what that does is it tries to look at the two bounding edges here and then tries to match their curvature, right? So you can try doing that sometimes. And it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Grab this one, move that over here. All right, same thing, I might click on I put mine on the hotbar at edge. So it doesn't always work, or it doesn't always work how you predict, right? Because maybe I want this to be like this shape where it kind of welds into here, or this curvature keeps going in the same curvature until it hits this corner. But when I hit it, when I hit the edit edge flow, you can see it's actually trying to average between these guys and fit this curvature. So it really depends on what you want. But yeah, so in general, the topology is getting super wonky. It's already, like I already could see, it already has started causing some shading issues, like right there. And what I was doing over here is not great, so I'd probably want to fix that. This one right here, I'm wondering if it's just a matter of the actual edges, or if it's just something is out of place. So I'm just going to grab these edges. Let's see. I'm going to scale them apart. Okay. So the fact that I could scale them apart tells me that they weren't actually flattened, really. So let's see. I'm going to try to flatten it down to there. See if that gets rid of that issue. Oh yeah, that got rid of that issue, kind of. So that problem that was happening right there was just from some of my vertices were a little higher or lower than my other vertices. Right? I had another edge loop in here just to kind of help tighten. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. It's going to help tighten that crease. You can see right here we're getting some pooling right there, a little funky pooling. Again, I might want to just make sure all of these edges are flat in the same direction, right? So they're all kind of flattened and there's no, change in shape or curvature or height on any of these guys. Okay, that's true. Let's take a look at that now. Okay, that's actually looking a lot better. I don't like this over here. I'm getting like, this is really averaging out right there, so I'm probably going to need, just like on this other one, another holding edge around here somewhere. I have to be careful with this distribution and where these edges are going, right? So yeah, so hopefully that all makes sense and that all helps kind of figure out how to connect these things together. I think this still, even after I've been messing around with it, needs more attention and needs more detailing to like really clean up those shapes. But that's like a good start to get that kind of shape in and get that ready. So hopefully that answers your question.